than the testimony of the officer in regards to it. That's
Okay.
that's the most
Evidence
important part.
from the defense, please.
Your Honor, we would like to point out the
You a bitch too.
the testimony regarding the jump location and the photo of the blood evidence not lining up per Officer Flick's testimony.
Statement of testimony. Objection, comma.
Why'd you put a comma at the end of it?
Objection,
Another
comma,
period.
objection.
Are you copy pasting your objections now, Belmont?
No. Please. I haven't had any caffeine yet. Objection, comma, misstatement of testimony, period. Ricardo did state that they jumped down from that roof to that trash can. He specifically references photo.
Look, stop. I don't need the objection. I know what was said verbatim. I have it. It's okay. I see where the contradictions are. I see where they are.
So
I am noting for the record what you're noting.
I think Harper's little suffer from PTSD from Surge Cross. She doesn't realize that,
And,
there's
yeah,
a difference.
Yeah, and Siobhan, bless her heart, love her, love soybean.
No, if I then removed contempt of court because you simped at me. Come on, Daniel. Get through the evidence.
Yes, thank you.
Talk over her.
Okay.
Oh, God, do it.
All right, and we would also like to point out, per Officer Flick's testimony, that the evidence of the marijuana was without any officer supervision for 2 to 3 minutes.
Let's be noted.
The defense rests.
Okay. Then we are going to go straight into closing statements.
Thank God.
Hey, Jigs, you're up first.
Are you making me do this?
You're gonna make me make something up on the spot? When you
Have
could make
both of you stood there for the past 20 minutes not writing out a closing? And
I
now
was
you don't have a closing.
pissing. Your Honor, I had to pee-pee.
I have no excuse. I'm just tired.
Fine, I'll make it up. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Today, through the officer testimony of Senior Officer Ricardo Flick, may he rest in peace because he stayed up for way too late, we were able to prove that Officer Flick was definitively able to see the gun that was shooting at him going pew pew pew. God, I'm so professional. And see the man jumping down. Officers were then on scene a couple minutes later to not even a couple minutes, a minute later, to collect evidence, including blood from where the bozo jumped/fell off of the roof. Fell? That's the word. The box on scene that Ricardo saw the original individual with, was placed down on the ground. Other officers were in the area. At no point was it tampered with, as it was still taped up when Ricardo cut it open to reveal it was full of chocolate chip strain weed, which sounds delicious, by the way. If it wasn't a weed, I'd eat it. Due to the officer testimony of Ricardo Flick, as well as the evidence collected on scene, we believe that we have proven that it was Tom Maverick that was there shooting at Ricardo Flick for no goddamn reason, because if he just hadn't shot, the guy probably would have gotten away and nobody would have even said anything because you're looking for a guy who shot an officer, so that's a huge elbozo for whoever shot. It was Tom Maverick, by the way.
Who was Tom?
Yeah, Tom Maverick.
Tom.
Elbozo, yeah. That guy had just
Elbozo.
not shot, that guy would have just been let go and Ray would have been kept looking for the OIS suspect. Would have been free drug trafficking. Yes. Thank you, I think. Is that everything, Jigs?
That's everything I care about. El Bozo.
Oh, Bozo. Because honestly, on God, he was just gonna drive by after a minute. Like, he was like, what's this? Okay, I'll probably leave.
It's
And
in
then the
poor
guy
taste to
started to
object to that, isn't it?
Should have
Yeah,
done one.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The end!
Okay.
Okay, defense. You're up. Closing statements. What you got for me?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen in the courtroom, what you've heard today from the prosecution is a case full of assumptions, suggestions, and errors. According to Officer Flick's own statement in the police report, quote, A box of 200 grams of weed was found on the scene near Officer Ricardo Flick, suggesting that the suspect's shooting was aiding the individual at the Cluck corner with felony possession with intent to distribute. The felony possession with intent charge states in part that any person who is found to have large quantities of drugs on their person, vehicle, and or property. But Officer Flick finding a box of marijuana on the ground in a public location does not prove that the shooter, the suspect fleeing from the other crime scene, nor Mr. Maverick was ever in possession of the box or its contents. And what of this individual at the Cluck and Bell? The only description provided by Officer Flick is that of blacked out clothing and a chain that can be purchased at any clothing store. As for the shooter, there are no eyewitnesses who can identify Mr. Maverick as that individual, no weapon recovered from the scene or from a raid of Mr. Maverick's apartment or vehicles. The officers couldn't be bothered to submit paperwork to get a judge's approval for a raid. They simply put out a warrant for his arrest and called it a day. They didn't even proofread the police report before filing it, leaving 70% of the evidence attributed to the wrong incident, and a vague statement full of conjecture from only one of the 3 officers listed as being involved on the scene during or after the fact. The prosecution has failed to provide proof beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Maverick had anything to do with these crimes, and we ask Your Honor to find Mr. Maverick not guilty on all counts. Thank you.
Okay.
Damn, I can't believe James Hayes hates disabled people.
Okay, now you need to stop.
What a psycho.
I'm going to deliberate. I'll be back shortly.
I'm good friends with Gil Schultz, and he has weird knees, so please.
That's not a real disability. He's just a bitch on God.
He does have weird knees.
Cannot discriminate against weird knees, Gil Schultz. Leave him alone. You know you're in charge while I'm not here.
Oh yeah, everyone needs to shut the fuck up. If you touch it, I'm telling. I will tell. I'm not your mom. Behave.
Road, Mike.
No, I hit him again.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Ah!
Oh, and hey, Perez.
My fat L.
I was gonna make the turtle sound.
Is that not Perez? I thought it was Perez.
That is not the turtle sound.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've taken a look at this. I've gone over the evidence. I've thought about the testimony as presented to the court, and we have some discussions to be had.
We
Here's
have
the
some
reality.
discussions to be had.
Mm-hmm.
It is a reality.
He fucked up.
Peanut gallery. Order.
Look at the fucking...
The prosecution
Yes,
is
sir.
ready for its L, sir.
Fat L.
I kind of hope
Here's the
so.
issue. Do I disbelieve the DNA evidence that was presented to the court? No, I don't. It is as strong a piece of evidence that can be put before the court. However, it stands on its own. There is nothing, circumstantial or otherwise, that adds any weight to this, to the prosecution in general, right? Where's the gun? Where was the raid to find the gun? Where was attributing the strain of weed to the defendant here through any other means? Where is the phone subpoena with evidence tying him to this locale or to the AK that, never made it into evidence? Where is any of this stuff? We've got casings, we have projectiles that were apparently attributed to Mr. Maverick because his DNA was found on scene. But that is all there is. All we have is DNA found on scene, a warrant being placed for his arrest, and that's it, right? That's all I've got to work on. Now, for a criminal prosecution to go ahead in the state of Los Santos, it must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. That is the burden placed upon the prosecution. Mr. Maverick has
Did I just
exercised his right to an
fucking
appeal,
win this?
and today he has won that appeal. I am
Yes!
stripping all these charges from his record.
Congrats.
He will be refunded the fines he
Thank
has
you.
paid. That is the verdict of this court.
L.
Hey, Your Honor, can somebody take a vocal recording of what
Thank
you
you
just
very
said and
much.
send it to Ricardo? Because he's the one who needs to know all this.
No.
It's his case.
Ricardo, shit cop, confirmed.
I'm gonna be honest.
Congratulations,
Grace,
Tom.
Grace,
Only can
hey,
drive
we're
it
just
through
showing
so
up
much.
and saying what
You
we
are
did,
welcome.
Right? Hear from Mike and Tim.
Can I be a attorney again? And I would like to defend.
Make sure they give you your money
someone
back.
Here for the contempt of courts. There were like
He's-
nothing. It's
She never
it's part,
shuts up. She never shuts
but it's
up.
part of her religion.